Hi guys, Shavanna here, and we are going to do just a little thing about the new moon in Aries coming tomorrow. And then also after this, I'm going to have, and I always say this because I always have technology problems and it sucks. I'm going to have a couple messages for the twins, and I know we've all been going through a lot lately. It's been hard. If everybody really looks around them and sees what is going on, everything about what we're saying is completely real. And I'm going to go over that, but not in this video. Anyway, so we have the new moon in Aries. So the way that I operate, I go from new moon to full moon. Now that's new moon in Aries to full moon in Aries. Now we all can't manifest everything within a few weeks. I think once you put your plan into place, you plant the seeds, you put out there in the universe what you would like to see come up into your life. You know, that full moon coming up directly after it's a good thing. A couple weeks have gone by. You see some things that need to be purged. You know, keep yourself a list. This is our new year, so keep yourself a list of all the seeds you're planting on all of these new moons. So this is the new moon in Aries. Now we had twin full moons coming up. So it's going to be Aries, Libra, that plane. Basically, I don't know why zero plane just came into my mind, but it's probably going to be a lot like that. But you know, new moon in Aries is a wonderful thing, even with the planetary positions right now. Some of them are a little trying. A lot of it is just about being really lucky and being prepared to see some miracles transpire in your life. And you know, with the Uranus in Taurus, talks about upheaving, you know, your status quo, your daily routines, the things that you become comfortable with, and too comfortable with, to the point to where you are now as a soul and as a person are not growing. So that Uranus in Taurus forces you, whether you like it or not, and we have this new moon in Aries, good energy. We have Jupiter in Sag. Awesome. Okay, so this is the time to really, really just kind of go for that once of a lifetime kind of bucket list dream thing, whether it's learning how to skyglide, or maybe it's finally saying, this year, I don't care what's going on in the universe, my plan is we are going on a cruise to Greece. It's those kind of really out there energies that are manifesting just for the most awesome thing you can plant seeds for in your life over the next year. Now, why I say that is because we have exact aspects right now of Mercury conjunct Neptune. Now, it's going to be that way until 2024, around this time. So this is a great time to plan that yearly trip, the family reunion, whatever you guys do on an annual basis now would be a good time to do it. If it's something that, you know, realistically, if it's something you're planning, then make sure that, you know, it's going to take that full year, because this is also a test of your stamina. Because we all know that Aries doesn't have quite, I mean, they have all the passion, they have all the vigor, they have all the tools that it takes to create anything that they want and bust through it, right? But they don't have the stamina for the long haul. And these things are going to take incredibly all year to manifest. And or if you plant seeds in this new moon in Aries, make sure that they don't have to take a year, if that makes sense. Now let's go back to the conjunct Mercury and Neptune that we have going on in Pisces right now. and it's an exact aspect. What it wants you to do on there is like, this is that time, and think about over the next year up until 2024, whatever you manifest and it comes to fruition is going to be lasting you. I mean, good tidings, good cheer, great friendships until 2024. And I say that's because all the numbers on the exact moment it becomes aspected, on the dates it become aspected, are matching numbers. So, I mean, come on. I mean, not only matching numbers, of course, obviously, they're very close to matching and or matching numbers on the degrees that they're in their sign and the house that they're in, but I'm talking about dates, the time, and the degree. So it's incredible. It's incredible good luck stuff. So, I mean, gosh, really, really, really go for it. Go for pleasurable pursuits. Those things that, and this would satisfy the Uranus and Taurus too, those things that you have held back from because you're practical, the good Virgos with, making sure everything is like this, and no, we can't do this now because Janice has cheer 4 days a week. It's like, no, you throw all that away and go for it. All of your pleasures. Make sure you want to, if you're a foodie and you wanted to go on that foodie trip, go for it. Set it up, plan it. It's going to happen. Jupiter in its home place, Neptune in Pisces, its home sign. I mean, we've got Taurus, 12th house. I mean, wow. And Mars is like kind of in there too, but that's okay because he slows down. Taurus with Venus there slows down Mars in an appropriate way. So you still have that warrior energy to like push and plot through. I mean, it gives that really good energy just to start manifesting what it is you desire over the next year. I mean, it's great. It's that thing that, go for the thing that you cannot seem to get yourself satisfied with. Like, we all know when we want something, we are being practical, responsible adults in the world, and we got to pay our bills before we feed our desires. Well, don't do that. Think about that one thing that, okay, I wanted the Cadillac, instead I got the Buick. Okay, go for the Cadillac. Put that on your list. Make it, take your first steps in manifesting this wish now, like right now. Within the week would be best to suit that new moon energy, but in reality, at least up until the full moon coming up in April. Okay, so do that because you have great miracles, good luck coming to you. Just go for it. Go for that one thing, that you just can't. I mean, you buy all these supplemental things that are in essence the one thing that you want. And okay, I didn't get to go to Croatia, but I went to Colorado instead, and yeah. No, go to Croatia. Line it up. In spite of what's going on in the world, we have got to ignore everything that's happening. And okay, don't ignore it, but we don't have to live it. Okay. The more fear-based we are, the more that we get stuck into that realm of the insanity that happens to go on in us, in society, in the way that we are stuck living, the way that we are just stuck, because that's the problem, is we are stuck. Scientists know it, anthropologists know it, historians know it, theologians know it, religious people know it, pastors, we all know that we are in a position of being stuck. We are unable to grow at this point. as a humanity, and the whole result is coming to play. But that's okay. So what? You know what? We still have to live. We have to live our everyday life. And the only way we're going to change the direction things are going in is by being positive. And this new moon in Aries is all about that, because Aries, they are loyal. So be loyal to your cause. Be loyal to everything that means something to you. I suggest writing it down. Start with, okay, what means something real to me and what doesn't, even if it's frivolous or crazy, but it means something to you, and what really doesn't mean anything to you. So that way you can, throughout this whole year, kind of harness that Mercury conjunct Neptune energy that's going to continue on every single year right about the same time until 2024. And you know, Jupiter's not going anywhere. So, Saturn and Pluto are hanging out there in Capricorn. I mean, it's like you have everything there to manifest every single thing that you want. And the new moon in Aries, they're charitable. So be there for people. If you see people struggling with things that are going on around them, if they start noticing and start receiving weird stuff, be there for them. Kind of bring them back down to earth. Okay. And things take a long time to happen. And I think we are definitely being graced with the signs that they are going to occur fairly soon. And in the world's terms, well, who knows, 1 to 5 years, probably. And so we got to live, and we're going to live, and we're going to be fine. We're spiritual beings. We are multidimensional souls living an earthly life in these bodies here. And death is not anything that we fear, nor do we care. Okay? Because it happens someday at some point, right? And not that it's going to. It's just like, all the fear-based stuff that I see thrown around right now is just insanity. But I do want to say this on a side note. You guys explore what the scientists are saying. Really open up your mind to the quantum physicists, the TEDx talk. You start noticing that we really are on the same side. And we just may not know everything that goes on in the world, and I think we do that purposefully as humans and as people. I mean, we've got our families. We can't think like that. But, as spiritualists, and if you're leaders and light workers, and we kind of have to. So that's what I'm encouraging. If that's your life purpose, and you're a reader, and you are a mentor of any kind in spiritualism, or even the twin flame thing, especially the twin flame thing, it's super scary for them most of all. Reach out to them. Really go and investigate and research. And that's a lot of part what this Aries new moon is about as well, with where the planetary positions are. With Mars and Gemini, it's, we've got Aries 9th house. I mean, come on. And it's all right there. It's really going to your theology and look at the hermetics and the esoteric histories of our world, our current religion. If I know it's new, but it's really not. And take a look at that. Take a look at everything and be discerning on where you are in your mind and where it is you want to head on your journey. And you're gonna find out that you're in the same place where you started. That's okay. That means you're confident in who you are and what your life path is. And that's what we need. And the bad thing about that Taurus in 12th house is that we kind of are in a place right now of weak confidence. And that can be preyed upon. So be careful of that energy. Be very, very careful of that energy. So, right now with the new moon, everybody is harnessing that Aries energy, and we're going to find ourselves becoming more loyal to our people, our families, our jobs, our situations. I do say discern on what's really truly important, what is not, because we can't be spread thin. You got to pick and choose where you are going to spend your energy. It's essential for every day, not just for what's happening in the world now, but for every single day. You know, we are attractive right now. Really ramrod your projects. Anything that's been lingering, that you started and have not completed, this would be the time to complete it. Just to tell yourself that you did it, because especially if you're an Aries and a Taurus, if you're Aries, you have a hard time completing tasks. I mean, you have these awesome ideas for projects. You start them, but you don't ever finish them because, you know, that's who we are in nature as these fire signs. We come up with the ideas, the other signs come along and put them together, and the other ones make them absolutely the best that they can be. But all those aspects are all of us as well. That's just us as a whole human being. So ramrod your projects, think broad, but be reasonable when you're thinking that way. I mean, think broad, but be reasonable, just because, yes, we want to be a little crazy with Uranus and Taurus, and Taurus 12th house, new moon in Aries. We have the conjunction of Mercury and Neptune. Yes, but you don't want to get discouraged either, because then that will snuff out this awesome thing that you are going to, whatever it is that you want, as crazy as it may sound, as expensive as it may be, it is going to happen. But you have to do the work. You have to do the work that's going to make that happen. If there's ever any doubts, you just throw them all, push them all aside, push everything aside and say, this year I am getting my Coach purse. You know, I am getting those Jimmy Choos, or I'm going to get the Vera Wang wedding dress that's going to happen. You know, all the crazy things that you want to do. Lay them out. Plant the seeds. Bring out your plan. Get your plan in order. And do your best to stick by that. And if you have days that doesn't work or doesn't happen, things are going to happen in between. That's why give yourself the year. Give yourself the year. And even if you need 2 years, that's fine. But on other projects, I mean, that big thing, make it for the year if you could. But on the other things, make it small. Because that's going to give you the confidence to pursue this ultimate big thing. And then you're going to receive, because you're in this positive state of mind, you are going to receive you're going to see miracles transpiring in your life. Not just synchronicities and messages from angels and ascended masters. You're going to see miracles. And then on top of that, I mean, it's going to give you all this boost of just positivity that's going to be rolling right into the summer. So do that. So just do it. You know, I mean, if it's something if you're just, you know, nothing for you is so big and it's just hair extensions, like whatever, go for it. Do it. But don't think too deep. This is the time to be frivolous. And if you end up having some money somehow, some way, and you have these urges to spend, because we have Black Moon Lilith, she's lurking around there too, and spend it on liquid assets. If you should just want to no, I want to take that trip right now. Do this, because we do have to plan for the future, and that's a lot. So Aries 9th or 10th house. I think it's in the middle of that. Either way, who cares? We got to do our 10th house planning, okay? And think about what could happen in a year's time, okay? You don't want to do that right now. Is not the time, okay? But spend it on liquid assets if you just can't help yourself and you need that boost and you've got to go and be a little frivolous and be a little eccentric in your spending. Just make sure it's on something that has some value that you can cash in later if your finances tend to take a dive later on. That way you remain in a comfortable state throughout the year. So think about that. And push your creative juices, not just the hidden gold that's here in your pineal, but your creative juices that come from that. Embrace them. We all know that with the Taurus, they can be very workaholics. Whatever it is they put their mind to, it's almost tunnel vision, but to perfection. And also with that Taurus in 12th house, and and Uranus. Okay, so we all know that Taurus can kind of sometimes be a little slow to start. So if you're a Taurus and you're slow to start your project, don't worry. Okay, the universe recognizes who and what you are. It's just that make sure that something happens to ignite. Okay, and I'm sure that they'll do something too, but you're not going to get very many chances. So make this now, implement it, start implementing movement towards that, and start rolling up your pennies, whatever it is that's going to take to have them herald this to you, to issue this to you, to thrust this your way on top of other miracles that you're going to see that are going to keep you in really jazz mood. But do embrace your creative side. Okay, if you get frustrated, if somehow you can roll the plan into some of your creativity, like, wow, like, oh my God, people love my melted glass cheese trays from wine bottles, and everybody wants one. There's a flea market coming up. Take that money that you make a bunch of them, take the money that you make and save for your trip. Definitely recommend something to do with travel. And if you're not a traveling person, then start digging into those aspects of your creativity. Start thinking about where you are spiritually. Start thinking about who you are as a person. Look at that list of what's really important and what's really not important. And start putting into place and start channeling your energy towards those things you know that deserve and need more of your attention, and kind of away those things that, and people too, that really shouldn't be taking up so much of your time and energy. Just some advice. If it's all about educating yourself too, just coming further in what it is that you have a passion for. If you're not a spiritualist and you're just on this, you are definitely drawn to this video. And if you're a light worker, reader, otherwise, awesome. General public, whatever, you were drawn to this video, I'll tell you what. Take a course in something that's going to further your career, make your marriage and or relationships in whole, whether it be friends or boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, whatever it is, better. Take a family course that enriches your family life. Dive into spiritualism. Take a stab at it. See what you think and believe. Maybe take a painting class. Go down the street to the studio that you can paint, ceramics and do that, because those are things that you can do when you're not feeling that great, when you start feeling weird, and and if you have to take trips right now, please wait until after the first week in May. We've just got some sketchy, as far as your families are concerned, it's kind of a hit and miss, even though all the planets are direct right now, because we have, what do we have here? We have like the sun, like contraparallel Neptune and the moon. And these, okay, so with the sun is contraparallel to the moon, they call this the full moon aspect. And I'm getting this information, a lot of it that I'm getting from the planetary positions and from astroseek.com. So, and then the sun contraparallel Neptune. All of these are indications, especially where Mercury is in Pisces, okay, which is 12th house, okay. And then we have Black Moon Lola still hanging out in Aquarius. These are indicating some issues with communication as far as your family members and stuff like that. This is a time right now, and you got to think about this new moon thing. If there's any problems in your marriage, relationships at work, now this isn't the time to be cutting things out of your life. This is the time to really look around you, discern what's important, educate yourself, find a way to either get in or out of it, make it better, but really watch over the next month your emotions, your conversations with your close family members. This is going to be an intense time, not only with everything going on around us, but the fact that we may be too dedicated to some outside things or too obsessed with some other things. Like if you are a spiritualist, you're coming too inside. You're becoming too obsessed with watching the tarot readings or not balancing yourself out. It really, really is. Balance is key. If you're feeling like you can't be around people, don't. Please don't. Because this is so like the fights that you would have right now in your communication. So, and if you're not having the most positive relationship and or your marriage, it seems to be on the brink and you're trying to make a decision about divorce or not, here's one thing I don't want you to do, okay? Don't instigate. Don't challenge. If you've got somebody who is a little bit of a control freak or has a really big pushy personality, a little bossy, or is feeling insecure lately, just don't go there. If you've had tendencies for a little bit of domestic violence, now I don't condone it at all, but we all know that husbands and wives can get in each other's face and push and shove, but this would be the time when that push and shove turns into violence, and we don't want that. So if you're having that kind of relationship, I would also implement how you ask what I can do to make this better. Ask what I can do to make my life better. What can I do to have this person, now this is realistically, because you never should change yourself for anybody, but if there's things that need to change, if you're a button pusher or you're just too stubborn, we have to learn to be flexible. This new moon's all about flexibility. And I know that sounds weird with Aries. I mean, we're charged forth, but with everything else going on around it, and you're talking about Libra, full moon, it is all about flexibility. It is letting nature take its course, letting payment from the universe be issued accordingly without stepping in it too much if you can. It's about becoming a person who could maybe even make this other person see that it doesn't have to be this way. And that's usually mostly through laughter and joy. Remember the things you used to enjoy and do them. Fill your life full of those kind of pleasures, especially over the next month. For sure, we'll pop out of it after the first week of May. Everything's going to go into like this really super wazoo awesome thing this summer. You're going to see a lot of things slow down. That doesn't mean be asleep to what's going on around you as far as where the world is concerned. But think of yourself first. The others around you that are most important. What is most important second? And for me, it's God. God first, me second. And only God likes that. But, you know, we kind of go hand in hand for sure. But watch your pessimism, because what you think is what you are. And what you think is what you manifest. So go inside and find joy and something that just gives you that turn back into being the way you were when you were a teenager and in love. I mean, that's the best way to describe some of the best times I've ever had, being a teenager and in love, you know, and the craziness and the insanity and the open heart and the freedom and the free willing aura that you know, present out there that's so attractive to everybody. But in doing that, we have to be careful of what's going on too with this new moon as far as having Taurus and Mars, 12th house. Black Moon, Lilith in Aquarius, 8th house. Pisces. Right? Yeah. I know, I always say when I write these down, and I never do. Ever, ever, ever. Anyway. Yeah, Venus is in Pisces, Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. I'm sorry, 5th house. Okay, dating, all the fun stuff like that. So as you're having all this fun, think about the things that you're attracting. Sometimes we don't attract the most positive things. So be aware that there could be people who, through sex will be manipulating you and make you think and believe, because we have Uranus out, and Neptune in Pisces. That we'll start believing in this fantasy land that this person is my knight in shining armor, when really he's just in for the sex. So if he's great in bed, cool, awesome. If you're being true to yourself and you feel good in the morning and that everything's okay, if you're a twin flame, please save it for your twin, if you can, unless you're married. If you're married, you got to take your your married duty to your spouse first hand. Spouse is number one. Anyway, so do Lilith in Aquarius, Venus in Pisces, that's in the 5th house. We have to watch a Black Moon Lilith, also in Pisces, conjunct Neptune. So wow, be careful. Stay away from if you're getting emotional, you get in a big, huge fight, things are blowing up all around you, you're scared, you're in fear of everything you see going on. Do not drink, do not take it to the next level as far as drinking anyway. Don't get naked, wasted, drunk. This is not the time to become an alcoholic, because these things will come back to you and something terrible will generally happen with these kind of energies. I'm talking on the scandal level. You can't let it happen. You also don't want to push anybody that's around you to a direction of where they won't have a place of no return, because if you know that you can handle your emotions better, then be that person, be the bigger person. Because if you're going to push somebody has had problems with drugs and alcohol at this time, it could be detrimental to their life in some way. Now, and to your relationship, to their job, to something, best friends are going to have a hard time communicating. Husbands and wives are going to have a hard time. Like, just the stupidest thing is going to cause the biggest conflict, and it's going to expose things that needed to be exposed. It's the final push, and you don't want to see people who and think, and if they're being insecure or in fear, you have to be a leader in that. You cannot be a button pusher. You have to put yourself aside and be there for these people, because we don't want to see anybody go down a road of no return, and or there be scandal that just screws up everything, because we are all set to have such a fabulous year. There's shit that's going to happen, we know, right? But it's going to be good. It's going to be good. We have all that energy. Capricorn, 6th house. Now this is about how you are, going to do things in your community, And with Lilith hanging out there in Aquarius, when we're talking about humanitarianism, it kind of brings to light your fears and or maybe some of your bullshit if you are somebody that is in the society. And 12th house Taurus is all about being a social butterfly. People flock to you. Everybody wants to know you and be around you. It's just natural. It's not anything you seek. You're not an ego person, nothing like that. It's just what it is. But if there's one thing, like you're faking love, we'll hold on to that one and, expose it. And it's all for, Lilith is not bad. It's all for our greatest good. She brings out that sexuality in us that we have to watch out for, because those things can bring some pretty negative people into our lives. And with the 8th house, okay, watch your assets. This is going to be a big jump time for cyber theft, identity theft. Your closest friends will do stupid things, because right now everybody's kind of financially falling apart a little bit. or because they're making these big, huge life choices that it's hurting their finances, and they're going with their heart instead of with living in the matrix and living the way it's been set up for us to live, like little robots, but it's going to hurt their finances. So, I mean, just people get desperate sometimes, and just kind of with the energies out of their mind. And they're going to use everything in the world as an excuse, because right now nobody wants to take any accountability. And watch your assets. Put your jewelry away. Put your ATM card away. Not that you have to make everybody know that you're not in a trusting state. It's not being not trusting. It's being smart with what you do have, because it's not something everybody else gets to help themselves to. Now, if we want to give, we give. But somebody that takes is different. And don't be naive. Really look around you. I mean, yours or the closest will do it at this time with this energy. So beware. Also beware of who you're letting in your house. You're kicking it at the club, and this guy is freaking cute. He's everything. Just watch yourself. It's the good. It's looking out for Mr. Goodbar. Okay, that one that really does just. I mean, you're going to be emanating, especially Aries and Taurus, emanating. And Scorpio, sexuality, Sagittarius, everything that is just all those signs that are just, and Gemini, Leo, whoa, the Leos are shining bright. So, I mean, really watch out, okay? Really, really watch out for be discerning, okay, everybody? I mean, want you to enjoy yourself. Go for a full-fledged in life, absolutely, but be smart, okay? Stay away from pessimism. Of course, we also have that North Node hanging out in the 12th house too. So, we've got, the Capricorn, which is awesome, the stubbornness but the push and the drive and the will and the stamina, to accomplish all this. But at the same time, it gets us to that North Node. So those ones who have karma from previous life are going to be able to just right through that before that node travels on. So, because we're at 22 degrees in Cancer right now. I mean, we got to make, especially Taurus, if you're a workaholic or you got things that push you away from your family, you have to start making your family and your close circle of surroundings a priority. So find a project that you can obsess about, push ramrod through, that involves your family, that keeps you at home, that keeps you available and near, because your family right now really, really means it. The structure of your family is super uber important right now. Set that up in this new moon in Aries. You won't regret it. Come out of the workspace, okay? I know everybody needs money, but let's not think about how the family together can accumulate something that you find is important and need. Yeah, 6th house, Capricorn is conjunct Pluto and Saturn. I mean, we're going to go into all that anyway. But right now, watch your sexy. Just saying, watch your sexy. This is about traveling and, your spiritualism. And if you can do both, and 2 thumbs up from the Lord, I imagine. And just watch if you are somebody who has an aggressive way of communicating. Just watch your communication. Watch how you are coming across to the more sensitive people. Right now is really, really, really sensitive. So be as sensitive as you can. Plan for this outrageous, joyful thing for about a year out. Whatever it is that you can, that it's going to start you in this 5-year worth of, almost 5 years of just great luck with whatever topic you choose, whatever category, whatever compartment you decide to push this objective into in this new moon in Aries. It's going to be fabulous because the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor. And you can't lose. You can't lose. You can't lose. Just make sure with the energies that we have, do your research too. Take some time to do your research so you're fulfilling all those needs of these planets that are rotating around us, that are purposely placed where they're placed, so that we can function every single day the best we can. It's our SOP. Pull your natal chart. All right. When you do this, when you make this plan, when you go on this weird, crazy trip where you're eccentric on some level and you pull together, yourself and bring yourself back into family, you dive into your spiritualism without relying. You got to think, you got to use your own in here, okay? All this is a tool and we're glad to provide it for you, okay? A lot of people don't have time, don't understand what these things that they're looking at. But these are going to bring people into your life that could be lifelong or could set you on that path, especially if you don't know what your path is yet. Even if you are a light worker, a leader, a reader, a way shower, a star seed, and you still are struggling with getting that overall, what in the hell is my path? What's going to happen with this energy is you are going to run across things and people. If you implement these things, if you find joy, if you go and indulge in these type of things, you're going to meet people along the way and you're going to start seeing signs. Some of the miracles you're going to get are going to kind of push you onto the direction of your path that is undeniable. It's going to bring you to your fork in the road. And we always do have that fork in the road. Your path is illuminated, but it usually always comes with a sacrifice and a choice. So it will push you there, but you got to do the work. You got to do the work. Capricorn is promising that stamina, Saturn and Pluto, right there. South Node, they're trying to push you past what you're comfortable in to going to where you need to be in this lifetime, to your North Node in Cancer. Okay, and that's falling just into that 12th house, and by the time all this is coming together, that is going to be there exactly. So whatever comes about, if in your education or anything that comes from this, is going to improve your relationships, your marriage. It solidifies everything in your career or your path or the direction that you're going. Family, your friends, and the peers you make along the way, especially the peers you make along the way, or business contacts, people in general, are going to be lifelong. And how precious is that? To me, that's everything. And what a gift. What a gift. So it's going to bring balance, security, harmony. Use your wisdom and manifest those dreams, y'all. Overall, if you can make sure to be that leader in emotions and or calm yourself during your times of insecurity or fear, doubt, throw out the doubt right away. Know that that is a blocker for that trip to Greece, for that month-long trip to Greece, and or to go excavating in Egypt on a grant, doing something you wanted to do when you were in college and couldn't, and now you can, okay? And or just because you stepped a toe in it, you can do all of that. And embrace all the changes that come with this, though, because when it's Libra, okay? Balance. But it is all about family, home, and community. It's family, home, and lots of times we have friends that live with us, and everything that comes inside that home, and then community. It's like we're just three big orbs that we need to hold tight to ourselves and honor. On top of it being our individual selves, the best individual selves that we can be, true and whole. Now that's true. Be true to yourself. No matter what, you are a divine masterpiece created by God. Even if somebody else wants to tell you there's something wrong with you, there's not. There's nothing wrong with you, okay? We are placed here purposely when we're placed, period. And you don't owe anybody nothing. The only person you owe is yourself, to be the best you can be and what you want to be, but not according to somebody else's agenda. It's got to be according to yours, your higher self, God. All right. Embrace your change. Get that imagination going when screwed up stuff starts happening. Think outside that box. Taurus and Uranus and Taurus is huge supporter of that. You will get that energetic spark from there. Neptune and Pisces as well. This is all about the number 4 is what I came up with today, and this is going to go over the twin messages that I'm going to do. Just make sure that through your goals, through everything, that you actually sit down and discern for yourself and say, hey, this is a new year, and we went through the brutal losses. A lot of us are hanging on, and you know what? If you've got something that's still hanging on after the past couple of full moons, then it's meant to work for. Everything you have in your life right now is meant for you to do some really hard work to keep, if it's your heart to keep. It is meant to still be there. Don't have any doubts of that. And really, really work at it. Really, really work. I definitely encourage couples to watch my A Cry from Our Divine Mother. It's one of my videos, and it is me going through my process, and I actually am working really hard to keep my marriage going. I have been going through this for a while, and have decided that since we are still in each other's lives, that it is something to work for, and it always is. What you do and vow in front of God is, and He will let you know when it's time to go. Just don't give up. We're not allowed to give up. We can't give up. We can't. When you give up, you give in, you fold, you lose your light, you lose your life. You're the true one that's meant for you. Everything is going to be bringing about some stability in where you're headed, and in the future, trust your intuition, okay? When you're making life